guys for coming today. We're just going to recap and discuss key performance management skills and your responsibilities as managers to complete performance management tasks effectively and in line with legislation. Here are the handouts I emailed you earlier on, just for you to have a look at. These handouts are just the 6 key performance management skills that outline the best processes for performing performance management tasks. The key thing when performing any tasks is to always abide by the Fair Working Act of 2009 and the Anti-Discrimination Act of 1977, that alongside all our policies and procedures. Okay, so firstly we'll take a look at the first handout that I've given you there. This is on how to conduct ongoing monitoring of performance management. So I'm just going to ask Bethany, can you tell me the 6 key steps in conducting ongoing monitoring of performance management?
Yes, define best performance outcomes, develop employee goals, targets and KPIs, evaluate performance, identify improvements if needed, develop an action plan for improvement and monitor progress.
Yeah, so that's fantastic, that's absolutely perfect. So at CBH, each employee will have at least 2 formal reviews each year.
Why do we need to perform 2 reviews each year?
Well, actually, 2 formal reviews is the bare minimum that we have to do each year. This is because we want to continually support and provide feedback to the employees, and the bare minimum of 2 is just to give a guide and make sure we're assessing everyone's progress throughout the year. The ideal thing that we want to be doing is communicating with the employees on an ongoing and consistent basis. Can anyone suggest to me an easy way to engage with employees and assess them on a daily basis?
Probably just by walking around the workplace and talking to employees, asking questions and listening.
Yeah, that's a great idea. That's actually one of the best ideas you can come up with. So if you are walking around the workplace, engaging with the employees, they can bring any issues to you and you can resolve them there and then. It also just makes you present and employees feel motivated by you being there, that kind of thing. So through these informal discussions, as well as the formal reviews, you and your employees can identify performance gaps and work together to provide or to come up with an action plan and a development plan. And this can be through things such as training or a mentoring system. Okay, so if we look at the third handout here, it identifies how to implement disciplinary action. So here the key focus is to promptly deal with employees who continue to perform below the standards. So if an employee is performing below standards, then you should arrange to have a private meeting with them. It should be somewhere where no one else can be hearing the conversation. It should be a private and confidential conversation. When you have this conversation, you should be providing feedback, and you should come to a mutual agreement on an action and development plan. If an employee keeps performing or underperforming, you might have to implement disciplinary action. Key factors to do this is to speak, when you talk to them, to speak to them in a clear manner. You need to give them specific reasons as to why they're falling below the standards, or if there are any issues with their behaviour, you need to give them specific examples of this behaviour and why, and then also clarify why it's unacceptable. So once you have provided the employee with the feedback, they must be encouraged to respond. Do you all understand why that is important to allow them to respond?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, so that's great. It is really important to let the employee have their say. Not only does it give them a chance to explain why they might have this particular behaviour or why they're performing at a lower level, not only will it let them have their say, but it also will help you to ascertain why they might be underperforming, and then also you can find a way to improve their performance. Okay, so the next handout we have here is how to resolve an employee dispute. There's 4 key steps to this. So the first step is, if an employee has a grievance or an issue, you must urge them to discuss the issue with their supervisor. Secondly, it is very important that each step of this dispute is documented and recorded. Thirdly, if the issue cannot be resolved, then the issue should be reported to the HR team. That is a big factor. If you're ever wondering or worried about or don't know how to go forward with an issue or a dispute, just make sure you can always come back to the HR department to ask for advice, or they can even sit in the interviews with you or the feedback sessions. Again, when you're doing the dispute resolution, if you can't come to an agreement with the employee, at this point you can bring in a HR advisor, or we can appoint another advisor to act as a mediator, and again this will help assist to resolve the issue. The ultimate goal when dealing with disputes is to resolve the issues as quickly and at the lowest level possible. We want to always ensure that we're referring to our policies and legislations that so that disputes do not turn into legal actions. Like I said, always come to HR if you have any issues or questions. Okay, so we've got the final handout here. This just covers how to provide feedback. Can anyone tell me the best practice in providing feedback?
Just to make sure that it's ongoing and continuous.
Yeah, that's a fantastic answer. So exactly, yeah, the key principles is to remember when giving feedback that you've got to always make it really regular. There's no point someone underperforming and waiting 6 months down the line to tell them that they've performed badly 6 months ago. There's not really much point in doing that. The employees won't appreciate it, that kind of thing. So make sure you make it regular, do it without delay. And obviously when you're giving any feedback, it's got to be clear or specific. Like I said before, give specific examples. Also the location is key as well. Ensure that it's a private room, no other employees can hear the conversation. And finally, the biggest thing is to follow up. Ensure if you do set up an action plan or a development plan, to keep reviewing it, set review dates, keep going back and assessing the development. Okay, well that's about it. We've covered all of the points today. Feel free to come speak to me later on today or whenever you feel like if you have any other questions. Okay, thanks for your time.
Thank you
very much.